What's up, Heat Seekers? My name is Joe Otis from joeislit.com, and welcome to week 2 of the NFL season for Lit Picks. I edged out Mike last week. I was able to get that win on that last second overtime victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. I was able to squeeze Mike out there at the end there, and it feels amazing. I'm going to start a winning streak this week, but the better news is, guys, we got some college football tomorrow. We got some NFL football on Sunday. Things couldn't be better. Right now, I'm going to bring in my co-host, the one and only Mike Costello. Mike, how are you?
I'm great, Joe. I'm just happy week one's in the books. It's great. Football season's awesome. I mean, there's like no better time of year. I mean, it was like draft day I love, and now it was awesome. So, you won last week, but I mean, like, how about the games? Like, how about like the Monday night game, the Thursday? Like, how about those games like coming down to the very awesome primetime games?
That Monday night game was amazing. I mean, it wasn't the best play game, but it was just exciting to watch. It kept you on the edge of your seat the whole time. Same thing with last night's game with the football team and the Giants. I mean, it was a horribly played game, but it kept you on the edge of your seat until the very end. You have a Giants player jumping off sides. You can't do that.
Captain, like one of the best D tackles too.
You can't do that. You have to stay composed there, and he jumped off sides, and it didn't work out for him because they kicked it again. They got the field goal. Worked out bad for me because the football team did not cover. I had them -3.5 in a parlay. The last leg, I had the over on that game, and I had the Astros laying 1.5, the Rays laying 1.5 last night. They both covered, but the football team just couldn't do it. And I was a big winner last week, but I was a big loser last night. How about you? How are you doing?
What's up?
How are you doing on these on your picks?
I didn't do anything except the first TD, Danny Jones. He got me again. It's 2 in a row now I've gotten for the first TD one, which has been great for me. So hopefully I can keep that rolling into the Sunday night.
That's right, Danny Dimes. Was there one that was called back for holding as well, or did he have?
I'm going to be honest. I watched the first 3 quarters of it, and then I passed out. I fell asleep, and then I woke up and saw the field goal. That's pretty much what happened.
Well, let's get into this week's action here. It's the NFL Week 2 2021. And right now, folks, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let me explain the rules for you all out there in case you're new at this. If you pick the underdog outright, which is 3.5 points and up, you get 4 points. Pick the underdog outright, that's 3 points and less, you get 3 points. If you pick the game spread or the over-under, you get 2 points. And if you pick the favorite, you get 1 point. And at the end of the show here, we do what I like to call the mega parlay, where we pick a four-leg parlay, has to be over plus 600. And if you hit that, you get 6 points. If both parlays hit, whoever has the better odds will get the 6 points. So we're on it right now, and let's see what our fans have to say. Let's see. You need to say a boot while wearing that hat. Exactly. Canadian. Is this thing on? All right. Let's get into it. But before we get into it, Mike, let's get this camera going right here. Ooh, look at that. First game is the Los Angeles Rams at the Indianapolis Colts, and I was checking the injury report earlier. Injuries are Eric Fisher and Quentin Nelson are questionable, so that's not good. The news for the Colts, and looks like that for the Rams. Looks like that the Rams are completely healthy. Xavier Rhodes will be out this week, and it's tough news for the Colts, but they are the home team, and I'm just going to take them. I'm taking the Colts on the money line at the high underdog because the Rams have to travel, from that win last week on Sunday Night Football. And I'm just taking the Colts because I want to take the risk. As we always say, Mike, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. I want some 4 points. I want that high underdog. What do you think?
I mean, if you go with public is all over the Rams. So therefore, do the opposite. I'm just going to be safe here and say that the Rams are going to win straight up. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying that the Rams are going to, demolish them. And listen, the Rams could be the team that wins it all this year. But I just think that I'm going to be safe here. I'm just going to take a point. I think they're going to win. But I think Indy could cover this. So I'm a little scared about this game. So I'm just going to kind of make it safe here.
All right. And let's see what we got here. Question for Joe. Are you excited for in-season Hard Knocks with the Colts? I'm not. I'm not that excited about it. I thought that the most recent season with the Cowboys for Hard Knocks was rather boring, and I can see that as the same with the Colts. I'm not really. I haven't really been excited for Hard Knocks probably since the Raiders season, and I just haven't been excited. Do you like Hard Knocks?
I actually I don't have HBO.
Oh wow, no HBO
So,
for you.
yeah.
All right then. Let's see. Probably Aaron. I would probably think Aaron Donald. Reality check coming from the Rams this week. That's what Bob thinks could happen, and Mark likes the Colts outright. I agree with that. All right. On to the next game. It is the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. We're both Eagles fans. I was really happy with the turnout last week with the Eagles defeating the Falcons 32-6 in Atlanta. That was a blowout victory for the Eagles. And the 49ers are coming in. They couldn't cover last week for the 8.5 points against the Lions. I mean, they were destroying the Lions, but somehow the Lions they had a lot of moxie there and came back at the end. The 49ers have some injuries. They have Drake Greenlaw, who's a linebacker, is out. Javon Kinlaw is out, is questionable. And Eric Armstead, who was their star defensive lineman, is out also. Rodney McLeod will be out for the Eagles. I thought that the Eagles secondary played very well last week against the Falcons. This one, I really think the magic is going to be a little bit more, isn't going to be there this week as it was last week for the Eagles. I'm taking the 49ers laying 3 points. And what do you think, Mike?
I 100% agree. I think if this line should be like San Fran 6.5. I think it's just a complete overreaction that, they played Atlanta yesterday. Like, they're not good. So like that's what it is. Like, I hope that they win, but yeah, I'm going to be safe here. I'm going to take the over. I think that there are going to be points scored. Philly's offense did look pretty good, and Detroit putting up what they put up last week, and everything, and that. So I think this can easily be like a 30-24, something like that game. So just give me the over and take it safe here, and now I can root for Philly, I guess, but I don't really see it.
All right. Pat says if the Eagles win, the hype train in Philly will be insane.
I do agree.
I agree with that. And Bob says this will be a frustrating loss for the Burbs. Maybe a late missed field goal or something. I can see that happening. Mike, no respect for the Eagles. And Pat says the Eagles are much better than you think.
Being a realist.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe they take a step back this week, but it's going to be exciting. I hope they pull it out, but I'm thinking with my brain on this one, not my heart. So that's why I'm going to go with the 49ers. Our next game is the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins with a 1-point victory last week over the Patriots on a very lucky fumble that happened late in the game. They were able to deal Mac Jones' first loss in his first professional game. The Bills last week, they were very unimpressive against the Steelers. I thought that they got off the 10 points. I picked the under in that game successfully, and it was a mess. I mean, they looked very bad against the Steelers last week, and it was not impressive. They have some injuries with the receivers. They have Gabriel Davis, who's questionable. Thor Latuliue is questionable, and those are some pretty big names. And the Dolphins will be without Will Fuller, who is out with a personal matter, and Preston Williams is questionable. So there are some injuries in the game there, but I don't think it's enough for me to not want to take the home team in this one. Where I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 3.5. What do you think?
So there's no way Buffalo starts off 0-2, and Miami should have lost last week. Harris fumbles in the red at the end. That New England should have won that game. I don't think Bills fall down to 0-2. I think they win this one. I'm taking them laying the points.
All right. Let's go to our audience. Pat says it's a must-win game for the Bills.
Yep.
And you agree with that because you said that, you can't see them going 0-2.
No.
And if they do, that could be perhaps on their way to a loser leaves town.
And Pittsburgh's good. Their defense is really good. I mean, they're a better team, I think, than people thought. So,
He thinks the Dolphins somehow find a way to win, hopefully on some good coaching. And let's see. Eagles win easier than a drunken trip down LBI Boulevard.
I would like for that to happen. I don't see them winning that easy.
Yeah. So our next game will be the Houston Texans at the Cleveland Browns. For this one, we have a Texans team that came off a win last week against the Jaguars. They were at home. The Browns were very, very, very impressive in Kansas City. They played the Chiefs tough throughout the whole entire game, and I like what I see from this Cleveland team. I can see them definitely being a contender, as we discussed earlier in our futures special. Deshaun Watson will be out. It's not injury related, as we know. Farrell Brown is questionable, and Camus Grugier-Hill, the ex-Eagle, is also questionable. Odell Beckham is out for the Browns. Chris Hubbard is out as well, offensive tackle. Even with that, Jedrick Wills, who was their star offensive tackle, is also questionable. The Browns have some injuries, but it's not going to be much. They're going to destroy the Texans, I think, in this game. I'm taking the Browns minus 13, laying the points. It was an emotional loss on Sunday. They're coming in this Sunday now, looking to dish out some pain on those Texans, and I can see that happening. What do you think, Mike?
Are you just going through the whole entire injury report thing? Sheesh. Yeah. I think, I mean, look, I took Houston last week on the money line, straight up, and they won, but they didn't look good. I mean, Jacksonville looked really bad, and Houston looked pretty good. I love Tyrod. I don't see the Browns winning this game by 13. I mean, I see them winning. I see them winning by like 7 or 8. I don't think they're winning by 13. That's too many points, and I'm taking the Texans here, getting 13.
All right. Let's see what our audience has to say. And Pat says that the Browns will win, but not as easily as it appears. So I think that maybe he thinks that the Texans will cover, but it should be
a lot of points.
I mean, a lot of people thought that the Texans were a pushover, so I don't think one win will put that narrative to bed. I think the Browns will win by 21.
I think Taylor's better. If you really look at him, he's a journeyman. He's better than people think. He controls the ball. He doesn't turn it over. And I think that leads to the favor here with the Texans. I think he's better than people think he is. And that's why, he's not going to.
Solid, but I don't think he's going to take over.
He's not a world beater, but he's going to do his job, and he's, smart with the football. And that's all you need to do is keep the game close and, maintain.
All right. The next game is the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Looks like that the Patriots are dealing with some injuries again with Kyle Van Noy. He's out. Jonnu Smith is questionable. Trent Brown is questionable. The Jets have nobody actually out right now, but Jamie Sherwood is doubtful as a linebacker. So if you look at the game last week, it was a very low-scoring game between the Panthers and the Jets. I thought that Zach Wilson, for a lot of people were giving him a lot of flack in the preseason, saying he wasn't ready yet. I thought he was actually pretty decent. I don't think he was overly impressive last week, but I think that he's a rookie quarterback on his way, and I can see some freaky happening in this game with the Jets somehow winning, but I'm not that confident where that will happen. I'm going to take the over, which is 42.5, which isn't that many points. I can see both teams putting up at least 24 in this game. What do you think?
I don't know. That's tough. I don't know if I can see the Jets scoring that, but I really don't know. There's no way Bill's going to go into New York with a rookie quarterback, a rookie coach, and lose. Give me the Pats, laying the points. Thank you very much.
All right.
Enough said. I just don't see it.
Pats winning a boring, awful game should be played Monday afternoon at 3:30. Jets defense will need to win this game, but Belichick isn't losing to a rookie quarterback. All right. On to our next game, which will be the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. Like I said, as we discussed before, Sam Darnold with the Panthers in his first game of the season last week with the win over the Jets against his old team, got a little bit of revenge there. Christian McCaffrey is back. He's looking like he is back to normal. He's still healthy. He should have been the first pick in our fantasy draft, but, we'll talk about that later. It was Dalvin Cook. For the Saints, Quan Alexander is out, along with Marcus Davenport. Those are some big injuries on the defensive line. And the Panthers, they are completely healthy. So with that being said, I thought Jameis was very impressive. Jameis looked like a world beater last week. Maybe him finally getting his vision back, maybe him getting some sort of LASIX might have helped out in the offseason. I'm taking the Saints -3 in a shootout. I think the Saints are for real. A lot of people thought that there was going to be a big regression back with the retirement of Drew Brees. Now, if you look at Drew Brees the way he was on the natural turf, wasn't that great when he would travel to like Carolina. I don't think that's really the same for Jameis. I think Jameis does pretty well outside, so that's why I'm taking the Saints -3. What do you think?
So I was tinkering this, and I don't understand why I didn't do it, because I think the Panthers are going to win, and I think it's almost a lock. I think I took Carolina getting the points, but I don't see the Saints winning this game. I think this is a huge. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think Jameis played well. He only threw the ball like 26 times or so. They come off the big win in Green Bay, which nobody thought was happening. Not going to happen this week. You know me. I love Carolina. I always stick with them. I've been doing it the whole time, and I'm going to do it again. And big Robbie Anderson week this week.
Big Robbie Anderson. So that's your Costello pick. How many yards do you think he gets?
I think he's going to go over. I think he's going to go over 100 this week.
All right. And Pat agrees with these. So he says they're his hot dog of the week. He thinks it's a letdown game for the Saints.
Big time.
The Saints at home, Tarzan. Saints on the road, Jane. Well, I mean,
they're going to be on the road for the next month, right, or something?
Yeah, there was supposed to be a home game last week, but they were playing in Jacksonville. So, I that's why I don't really agree with that, because they played pretty well last week. I like their defense. They played in
Florida, and that's where Jameis is from. So, kind of his hometown.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got to realize Carolina isn't that far away.
Yeah, I know.
Our next game is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. As discussed earlier, the Raiders with that amazing win on Monday night. Pittsburgh once again edging it out against the Bills up in Buffalo. I think a lot of people don't think the Raiders are for real, even with that big victory against the Ravens. And the Raiders have some injuries. Like I said, Richie Cognito is out. Mariota's out. The Steelers are going to be without a defensive tackle, and they have Joe Hayden and Devin Bush questionable. So if those guys can play, they'll be good. But this is my hot dog of the week. I'm going to take the Raiders in the money line at plus 225 as a high underdog. Maybe, just maybe, John Gruden is able to turn the tide on the Raiders, and they won't be just that 7-10, 8-9 team, and they'll actually be good this year. And maybe they're on to something. Maybe they'll be serious contenders with the Chiefs, who they did beat last year. And maybe they can at least be neck and neck with them, maybe a little bit less. But I like the Raiders on the money line this one. What do you think?
Maybe I'll eat a salad. Maybe I'll eat broccoli. Maybe I'll eat carrots. But we all know that's not going to happen. This game was decided for me when they won on Monday. And once they won on Monday, I said they're not going to win, because we were in the text chain. And in the beginning, when they were playing so bad, I said, yeah, but they're going to come back next week and they're going to win. Well, they won. So now they're going to lose. Steelers laying the points. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's see what the fans have to say. So it seems too easy, but I'll take the Steelers. I agree with that. I think it's too easy. And this is my hot dog of the week. Do you think Richie Cognito gets recognized when he goes out to eat? Probably. I don't think so. Next game is the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, for this game, this is a game where the Broncos were able to beat the Giants last week in New York. Teddy Bridgewater looked pretty solid. I don't think Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars looked very, very impressive in their first outing against the Texans. There isn't really any major injuries in this game, but for this game, I'm just going to take the under at 45. I can see this one going, I think 28-10 perhaps. I can see that. I don't think Lawrence is ready yet. But if the more experience he gets, the better he can get. I'm just taking the under. What do you think?
I told you before, my thoughts about Denver. Don't sleep on them. They're going to be a 10-win team, 9-10 win team this year. They're good, and people don't see it, and I don't know why. If they got, the rumors in the offseason were that who were the Broncos going to get?
The rumors in the offseason were Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly, and they were projected to win a Super Bowl. So if you're telling me that, they were going to win a Super Bowl with just adding him, they're a very good team. And if Teddy keeps playing like Teddy and, he's doing sufficient enough, this team's going to win. Give me the points.
All right. That's actually really funny.
I knew where he was going.
I didn't know where he was going with that.
Oh, I kind of knew where he was going with that, but I didn't say it.
Recognized when
yeah, his name is Incognito, but I didn't,
That is Incognito. I wasn't think of that.
I think there was a. Yeah.
Pat says the game sucks, and Bob says he likes Denver there a lot. The game's against him.
This is gonna be a Javonte Williams day.
All right. Next game is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Chicago Bears. Now, in this game, I thought the Bengals were very impressive last week. I really liked how Joe Burrow looked. If you are a fantasy football fan, you know that all the experts were saying Jamar Chase was going to be bad because he can't catch the ball because he had a little dumb quote there, which I think you can't take seriously. But Jamar Chase, he looks pretty damn good. He looks like he could be the next rising star of a wide receiver. He'll be my starting wide receiver probably for the rest of the season. I really like how he looks. Injury-wise, Trey Waynes is out for the Bengals. Nobody else really big for the Bears. Eddie Goldman, the nose tackle, is doubtful. Questionable is Jason Peters, which is a quad injury, but it's probably a poopy break, which he likes to take all the time, where he goes out every single other play in the game, which he used to do for the Eagles. I think it's probably time for him to retire. The Bears look solid last week against the Rams. They look solid, but not spectacular with Andy Dalton as the quarterback. They really got to go to Justin Fields. I think they're going to probably have some sets built in to have Justin Fields on the field. No pun intended. But for this game, I'm just going to take the over because it seems pretty low for these two teams at 45.5. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I don't think that the Bengals are going to be able to block the Bears defensive line. And that's where I'm going with there. I think this is one of my lock picks here. I think the Bears win this one easily. They looked good. They played the Rams, and the Bengals aren't the Rams. They played the Vikings, and the Vikings their defense is still not, that improved. So a big win there for the Bengals, which nobody expected. Letdown week again. Bears easy here at home.
So that's your cost seller pick is take the Bears -2.5.
That is definitely, yes. That's one of mine. All
right. Pat likes the Bears here, revenge of the Red Rifle.
I never even thought about that, actually.
I didn't think about that either.
I never thought about that.
It's hard for me to ever bet on the Bears. Yeah, I mean the Bears sometimes they're a good solid bet when you're getting the points, but they've been pretty disappointing to me. Like last week they disappointed me. I was getting 8 points with them. They couldn't pan out with the game against the Rams. But we're on to our next game right now, and it's the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady and company looked really impressive against the Cowboys with that victory on Monday night. Mike Evans without very many catches, but maybe that changes this week. I think maybe if you're going to put a bet in there, put Mike Evans getting the first touchdown in the game because Brady likes to spread the ball around to all his players, but I think Mike Evans will finally get some action this week. I can see a lot of points being scored in this game. I think that 12.5 points is a lot to lay. And for a team like the Falcons last week, I don't have enough confidence in them even getting the points because they got completely destroyed by the Eagles at home. So for this game, I can just see some points scored mostly on the Buccaneers, and I'm going to take the over, which is 51 in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's safe. I mean, if anything, it shows that Tampa can get thrown on. I said it before. I was like saying that 13 for Houston, it's way too many points. And then here I am. I looked at my paper and I took Tampa laying the points here. And I don't think that was a smart choice because I think Atlanta's going to cover this game, but I'm going to stick with what I took. I just think that's too much. I don't know why I took it, but that's what I did. So, yeah, I'm going to take it. I mean, just hope that if it's true, like if Atlanta's really that bad of a team, which I think they are, then Tampa can definitely cover this game. But yeah, they're bad.
Pat says Tampa wins, but Atlanta will cover. Kind of a letdown for Tampa, and Atlanta will play better than last week. Tampa seems like the easy pick. Would the booker think about making the Bucs out the Falcons over? I don't know. And for this point here, that the public being all over Tampa,
that's this concern. Yeah.
That is the concern because it's like when the public's all over a team, it's like you got to go against them.
Yep. That's why I went with the Bears.
That's so many points. Yeah, it is a lot of points. It's not SEC versus DC3. That is a lot of points, but I mean, I think that maybe the public really thinks that Tom Brady he's still shown it. So maybe that's what the public is seeing. He's seeing what happened on Thursday Night Football. He's seeing them putting up some points. I don't think he's regressed at all last year. So I mean, he's the GOAT for a reason. You know what I mean? So that's why I can see that. So moving forward with the Next game, it is the Minnesota Vikings at the Arizona Cardinals. This game, the Vikings lost a heartbreaking defeat last week in Cincinnati against the Bengals. The Cardinals looked like world beaters. They went into Tennessee last week and they embarrassed the Titans. Taylor Lewan gave up 5 sacks, and Chandler Jones, that was embarrassing. He should stick to podcasting for the time being, or at least work hard, and hopefully maybe he'll improve. But I thought Kyler Murray was amazing last week. He looks like a definite MVP candidate. But for this game, I'm looking at some injuries here. Anthony Barr will be out for the Vikings. Christian Darrisaw is a tackle. For Eric Kendrick is questionable. And the Cardinals don't really have any really major injuries here. But I'm just gonna go with my heart on this one. I'm gonna take the Vikings +4. I think that maybe this is a letdown game for the Cardinals in Arizona, in that desert. I think that maybe the Bengals will get their offense together. Maybe Kirk Cousins put something together with Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Didn't have a great week last week. Maybe they'll get good this week. And maybe Dalvin Cook will do something that Cardinals defensive line. Maybe they won't have to worry about Chandler Jones putting pressure on Kirk Cousins, and the running game will do the work for them. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, this game concerns me. Like I chose this game in my mega parlay, and I think this is like one of the top trap games of the week. And it concerned me, but I'm just sticking with it because, like I said, the Arizona, they just looked so good. And it's just like too good to be true. Public's all over it now. And it's just like, it's another concern. I'm going with it, but let's just hope it's one of the 3 or 4 or 5 wins that the public gets that I've taken. So let's just hope that happens.
All right. Let's see what the audience has to say about this game. 2 teams who are all over the place. Stay away from this game. I'm not saying that one here. Arizona looked good and much better than I thought in defense. They might kick the Vikings' ass. That very well could happen. If the Vikings are for real, and if they are who they showed last week, then they can very well dominate the Vikings. But I think it's going to be close, and I think this is definitely a trap game. All right, so our next game is the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, this is a game that I am actually very shocked about because where'd you go, Mike?
I clicked the wrong button.
This is a game that I'm actually shocked about because I'm looking at what the experts say, and I don't see why the Cowboys are underdogs here. I thought the Cowboys, they looked like they're for real. I think Dak looks like he's completely back from that injury. I think Ezekiel Elliott still has some work to do because he kind of looked like he was regressing the same as he did last year. But when you got CeeDee Lamb and you got Amari Cooper, who's looking like he's going way past the experts' expectations of him from last season, and they have Michael Gallup, who's actually a solid receiver. The Cowboys' offense looks really good now. I look at the injuries. I don't see any really major injuries except for La'el Collins, who's on the injured list for the next 5 weeks.
Well, they just lost what's his name, the D tackle.
The D tackle.
Yeah.
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence for 6 to 8 weeks. But I'm going with their offense right now. Yeah. I can see this game being a shootout, and with that, I'm going to take the Cowboys in the money line at +160. Once again, you got to risk it to get the biscuit, and I like this high underdog in this late afternoon game. What do you think, Mike?
I think that's, looking back at it, I think that's safe. But I don't know. There's just something. I mean, Herbert, he's really good. I don't think he's, like he was last year, but there's just something. I just think that, the defense is there. This is going to be a high scoring game. But I'm going to go with the Chargers here. And I think I'm doing that because I'm an Eagles fan and I want to see the Cowboys lose, but I can definitely see the Cowboys win. And Dak looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked good, and they're going to put up points. So if LA is going to win this game, they're going to have to put up 30 some points because Dallas is going to put up at least 4 touchdowns. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to know if you're wearing a white undershirt or is your neck that pale?
Nah, man, I need to go to a tanning bed or something. It's just it's the arms are tan. Everything else is just not good.
Kyle likes the Cowboys in the money line, and Pat says Mike bailed on you like he bailed on Countdown last week. You should pronounce the Chargers quarterback like you're from Quebec. Hebert, Justin Hebert. Chargers win here and score a ton of points. That would be nice. I want to see the Cowboys lose, but I want my pick to be right here. So moving forward, our next game is the Tennessee Titans at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's coming off a big win last week in Indianapolis. They defeated the Colts, and the Titans were embarrassed last week. They had, as we discussed earlier, they put in a horrible performance against the Titans. So it's really hard to pick the Titans in a trap game type scenario here because I think the Seahawks look that good. So I'm just going to say there's going to be some points scored. Maybe Derrick Henry gets that offense going, gets the running game. If you remember last week, he was on the goal line, it was pretty tough for him to get in the end zone there. He didn't look like he did normally does late in the season. So, but I do want some points being scored here. Maybe Julio Jones is a breakout game finally. So I'm just going to take the over, which is 54.5. And it is a pretty decently high number, but these two teams can put up those points. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm torn with this game because this is Tennessee's like one of those teams that like you expect them to be good, and I think their offense just didn't gel yet. I think it's going to. I like Tannehill. I love AJ Brown, Derrick Henry. I think this is a team that just hasn't gelled in. I think eventually they're going to get there. But what's the points? It's like 6 or 5.5 or something like that. And to me, it's just like that is just too much for me. I think Seattle wins this. They're home, but it's just, I'm just going to take Seattle straight up here. I think they win the game. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close one. I think Tennessee does bounce back a little bit here. I just don't know. Like Seattle at home, they're pretty tough at home. So I can't go against them in that one.
So Pat says tons of pressure on the Titans here, kind of like the Bills game. It could be, it's not week 3 yet. So, it's only the second week of the season, but it's really not exactly loser leaves town yet. But there is a lot of pressure on the team, and the Titans screwed Bob last week. Can't imagine they'd be bad 2 weeks in a row, but Seattle is a tough place to play. If you let Russ cook, what dish do you think he would make? I would say chicken cacciatore, and Pat says something vegan. What do you think?
I have no idea.
Our next game is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs were very, very impressive last week, as was Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. And I just so happen to have that connection in fantasy, so I definitely want to see a lot of points scored in this game. The Chiefs have no injuries on offense. The Ravens will be without defensive end Derek Wolfe, and Ronnie Stanley is questionable. So they do have some injuries, especially on the offensive line, where it's going to be crucial for that line to protect Lamar Jackson in order for them to have any chance against the Chiefs. But I do see a lot of points being scored in this game. And if you look at the over of the last game, which was 54.5, it's the same thing for this game. So I'm just going to take the over, which is 54.5, and I can see the Chiefs and the Ravens easily putting up these numbers. What do you think?
Am I missing something here?
What's that?
Like they lose to the Raiders, and KC is giving 3.5. That's it. Like
3.5. That's it. But they're the home team, though. The Ravens are home.
I don't care. I am just baffled. Like this game should be 6.5 or 7 or something like that. I'm going to take the Chiefs here, and I don't think this is even close. Baltimore, they're going to go down 0-2. There's so many. They looked really poor on defense. They got shredded. Who's going to stop Tyreek Hill? There's nobody. He might have 300 receiving yards. All right. If Zay Jones gets behind you and he gets that, listen, this is going to be. I don't know. I would be baffled if
they'll have to give Marcus Peters a bionic
he's out
to get him into the game.
He's out. Yeah, he's out.
Maybe his ghost will come in the game.
So I don't see them. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I don't know.
Good answer, Andy. I think the Chiefs
do a better job.
I think the Chiefs win big here. The Ravens are just going to be snake bit all year. I think it's going to be a lost season for them with injury. Yeah, you're missing a shirt that fits.
This shirt fits. My gut sometimes, makes the shirt go up to the belly button, but hey, who's asking?
All right. So our final game for the week is the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. And Green Bay was embarrassed last week. We all know that. And Aaron Rodgers said this week that if you're nervous about how that first game went, if you think it's going to linger on for the rest of the season, you just need to relax, as he said 2 years ago. And part of me wants to agree. I think that the Packers are going to win this game, but I also think that the Lions are going to cover because they covered the 49ers last week with 8.5. They're getting 12 here going into Green Bay. It's a divisional matchup. I think 12 points is high for these two teams. I think Jared Goff, I mean, he looked solid last week. He wasn't spectacular, but he had enough ability to keep the game close with the 49ers. And I think the 49ers have a better defense than the Packers do here. So I could see this one being a decently high scoring game, maybe something like, 35-24 perhaps, where the Lions cover. What do you think?
I think that this is a comeback game where this is just what Rodgers does. He just toys with you. He's going to come out. He's going to throw for like 349 yards and 4 touchdowns and run for like 30 yards. And this game's going to be over by the second quarter. I think it's going to be like 20-3 at halftime, and it's just going to go from there. This is a Monday night game that is not going to come down to the wire.
All right. Let's see what our fans have to say. Go, Pack, go. Even if Rodgers doesn't care, Pack, still win. A little delay on that one. All right, Mike, you know what time it is.
Hot dog of the week.
So my hot dog of the week I'm going to pick will be the Raiders. I think it's either the Raiders or the Cowboys. Those are my 2 hot dogs. What do you like?
Are we keeping track of this? Because I hit last week with Houston, right? Did you? I don't remember who you took last week.
I mean, you don't get points for it.
No, I know. Carolina. I think that they're gonna. I think they're definitely gonna win the game. Yeah. So that's my choice.
All right. And you guys know what time it is. It's your favorite time of the week. It is Mega Parlay time. I need to get some sort of special effects for that. But my Mega Parlay will be
maybe me eating a hoagie.
The Saints Panthers over 44.5. The Bengals Bears over 45.5. The Cowboys in the money line at plus 160. And the Lions Packers over 48. That's plus 1671. It's a pretty big parlay there. I went for some over-unders. I think betting over.
You're going for a lot of overs this week, huh? Usually weeks 1 and 2 are low or unders.
The overs are fun to watch, because you're getting there nervous, hoping that it happens, that something will, there's at least some scoring on there for you. Now you always want to bet the over because you don't want to bet the under. Who doesn't want to watch points?
Yeah.
And talk about your mega parlay, Mike.
Yeah, no, I was saying before that you can picture me like eating a hoagie, like taking a bite and having the mayo drip out on the bottom and just like the lettuce and tomato just sitting down on that's what you want to do for the mega parlay. Yeah. Now I have the Bears laying the points, Cardinals laying the points, Chiefs laying the points, Chargers laying the points. Looking at this now, I did a terrible job because 3.5 and 4 is terrible things to take. And look what I have up there, three of the 4 games. So oh well. I really am confident though with the Bears and the Chiefs, and that Chargers is kind of like a wishy-washy one, and the Cardinals are Cardinals. So I think if the one doesn't hit here, it's going to be the Chargers. Like you said, you have the Cowboys straight up, and I think that's a pretty good pick there. So it's going to be interesting.
All right. So we'll get the karaoke punishment up somehow. What do you want to do for next week? Let's see what the audience.
Yeah, I completely forgot, and I guess I still have to sing the song, but we still have to sign up. So I have no idea. Does anybody have a song that they want us to choose? I didn't even think about it.
Comment section. He's playing against Rodgers in fantasy.
Yeah, you're in trouble with that one. I last week I played against Tyreek Hill twice, and I won both of those games. Unbelievable. And in one league, I actually had Ayuk, who gave me 0. So yeah, pretty impressive. I went 4-0 last week. Very happy. So I'll go like 1-3 this week.
We'll have to get back to you on that on the karaoke punishment. I think I'm going to watch some Dark Side of the Ring tonight. So what do you think? Do you watch that show? It's on Vice.
Yeah, I used to. I have to see what channel it's on. I don't know if I get it or not with my cable. So.
Oh, there we go. Bob says "Creep" by Radiohead. Is that the song you like for me?
Sure, we can go for it.
This is Life Could Be Worse. You could have been Billy's team.
I think Billy's team is going to be okay.
I don't think so. I think his team.
I do. I kind of do.
I
mean, he's hurt because Beckham's not coming back. That's been hurt.
Flair, I was going to say Flair getting mega heat after last night's Dark Side. Flair and Dreamer and Scott Hall, apparently, they all got canceled again for something that happened 20 years ago.
Oh wow! This is new news. I don't know if you just heard this, but
What's up?
Josh Jacobs is out.
He's out. I'm not.
I had no idea. So that's
I better text
my
brother.
boy Kenyon Drake, man.
Oh, it's Billy's birthday today. We should wish him happy birthday on here.
He doesn't come on here anymore. Why not?
I don't know.
I kind of miss him. You should text him. I wanted him on here. You know.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah.
You got the baby in the background.
I did. Yeah. Not sleeping, huh? No sleepy time.
I don't know. Maybe he wants to stay up with his mommy. I think that he, I think he goes to bed for me. Just lays on me some big comfortable pillow. I guess So who's your guys' guest this week on the SmackDown Countdown? Uncle Frank, Mom, Dad, where are you guys?
Actually, Bill's going to be in trouble because he doesn't have another. Well, he'll be okay. But I didn't know he had Jacobs.
Ooh, probably no guest.
Oh, there you go.
Do you have the video ready for? This is going to record tomorrow.
Sleepy time. I have to finish washing dishes.
Oh. Well, we have three guests tonight, 3 viewers, which is the startup.
We just got to win. We got to get better, and we got to win. Last week I was 7-8. I don't know what your record was, but we got to do a better job. Got to do a better job.
I actually started writing all the stuff down on my notebook.
Yeah, we'll have to keep the records up from here on out so we can see how poorly or how well. Like last year, I had a really good year, and this year I'm probably going to do really poor. But yeah, we'll put the records up next year.
You were good going in the playoffs, and I think I won the Super Bowl last year.
I don't know.
So. All right, guys, That'll be the end. And Mike, as usual, what can we tell our fans to do out there until next?
Stay lit, enjoy week 2, and let's get rocking.
Stay lit, folks. Good night and happy football.